DevOps engineer.md. Yes. What does DevOps engineers day looks like? Okay. When I say day looks like, I'm not speaking about coffee and all that stuff. I'm speaking about what are the activities which you are expected to do as a DevOps engineer. Okay. So since we just know the essentials, but we will try to speak about all the other things with respect to what is required. Okay. Right. So DevOps. Okay. Job has some major things in every day, major things to be achieved every day. Okay. The first one is ensure your pipeline is running without issues. So what do I mean by this pipeline? So what does a DevOps engineer do? Developers commit the code, DevOps engineer takes the code, he builds the code, he packages the application, then he deploys it to the different test environments depending on your organization's QA policy, and the process goes on. Then you go to the staging environment and then to production. Okay. So all of this, whatever activities which we have defined, okay, that is basically called as a pipeline. Okay. The first activity or the priority one activity for you is ensure that your pipeline is working correctly. Okay. And by the way, when we say pipeline, these pipelines are maintained, or whatever work which you do in DevOps, okay, or are designed to work with CI or CD engines like Jenkins, okay, or let me write it as Azure DevOps, which was formerly called as VSTS, Bamboo. You can go all and all. There is a whole list over here. So the first activity for the day is ensure that your pipeline is working correctly. If there are some failures, that's the utmost priority. That's the utmost priority. Am I clear on this? So what is the first priority activity of a DevOps engineer? Whatever automation which you have done, so that your DevOps, as a DevOps activities for your team, you have taken the code from developers, you have built it, you have packaged it, you are running test cases, you are running code analysis, you are creating the packages, you are deploying the packages. Anything that fails in the pipeline is always a highest priority activity to you. Am I clear on this? Right? So in the interview, if they ask you what is that you would be doing, right? So generally as a DevOps engineer, you will not work for one isolated project. You, until unless you work for product-based organizations, you will be working for multiple teams. So, and each teams will have a DevOps pipeline. And you as a DevOps engineer are responsible for the health of that pipeline. And that is exactly what your utmost priority is. Okay, right. So that's the first activity. Yeah. So if I have to tell it statistically, at least 30% of your time goes into ensuring that your pipeline is working correctly. Right. So then obviously you will have interactions with dev, QA, and program management teams. Okay. And sometimes with IT team. Okay. To get necessary resources. This might not be IT resources, might not be true in every organization, but yeah. So every day you will have interactions with your dev, QA, and program management team to understand what is happening in your application and what is going to change. Am I clear on this? Right? So these are very, very interesting things, and these are very, very important things for you to basically in your interviews and all of that stuff, right? So let me remove this. Why I think I can do this in this way. Yeah. Yeah. Program management is all about why you are building your applications, right? So developers write code, developers build the stuff, but there should be someone who is behind building those applications, right? With respect to sales, with respect to requirements from your customer, whatever it is. Whoever manages that becomes a program management team, right? Okay. And the third activity is, okay, ensure, right, you are working on pending items on your automation backlog. So a pipeline might be working correctly, but it might be improved, right? There might be something that has to be changed. For example, you have to change your Ansible Ansible YAML file. For example, you have to change your chef stuff. For example, you have to change the way you are handling Jenkins. There is some amount of automation which you are supposed to do, and still you have not done it. So that becomes your third priority. That becomes your third priority, right? How are you selecting multiple lines given a backspace, right? Sir, Visual Studio Code will worry about it at the last. Ask me this question at the last. Right now, I'm taking only DevOps questions. Okay, fine. And then, right? The fourth one is, right? In DevOps, we deal with a hell lot of infrastructure. We deal with a hell lot of infrastructure, right? So, ensure all of the infrastructure required to maintain CI or CD pipeline is working well. Okay, if required, you might be asked to basically set up a backup for this, right? And you need to work with your IT teams to ensuring that all the servers are working correctly and all of that stuff, right? Okay, right. Fifth and most important thing, right, which people don't like, documentation. Ensure you are documenting all the activities, okay, like, okay, let it be server info, okay, or let it be steps for backup or restore, right? Whatever you do in DevOps Lab, or whatever is required to maintain DevOps pipeline is done. Okay, right, fine. So no matter how much we speak about DevOps, right, there is still legacy stuff in your applications or legacy applications. Okay, okay. So legacy applications might be, so your company is doing a build on a server which was 2011. On that you have to execute Perl commands, right? This is our old stuff, right? So ensure, right, you are ready to spend time on legacy stuff with less automation possibilities. Some companies we do have it. Okay, no matter how much we speak about automation and doing everything and all that stuff, right? It is always there. And then performance improvements, right? Performance improvements is what can be changed in pipeline so that we can deliver quickly. We can deliver quickly. Okay, and not to say continuous self-learning to keep yourselves up to date. So when you're in your interviews, if you go into your interviews and if they ask what is that you end up doing, you end up ensuring that your pipeline is running without issues. Every day you will have interaction with your teams which you are working with. Okay, and you would ensure that you are working on pending items. That pending items work is something where you develop something in Kubernetes, something in Ansible, something in Chef, something in Terraform, whatever we are going to do over there that comes into play. Ensure all of your infrastructure is working correctly. That is where you might need some of the monitoring tools. Okay, ensure that whatever work which you do, it is all documented, right? So that you can delegate this normal activities and you can work on automation, right? So with all of this said and done, we will have always have some of the legacy applications which are not very much automatable. Then you might have some hectic solutions there. You have to ensure that you are up to the mark with that. Sometimes you might be asked to rewrite legacy applications. For example, that legacy application, if it is something to do with pipeline, then if it is to do with the application, yeah, then that is a developer's headache, right? And we have to ensure that our pipeline is optimal, right? There is always a scope for improvement. There is nothing called as this is the best DevOps possible. There is always a scope for improvement. Okay, right? So, and at the last, unfortunately in DevOps we get loads and loads of tools every day, or things change very frequently, and you have to have, right, self-learning as part of your daily agenda. Okay, so this is what a DevOps engineer's day looks like. Am I clear on this? Right? Any example of a legacy application? Probably your company might be using mainframes, right? So, and automating, for the automating that mainframes, they might have written some Windows application. It can be anything which is older, which is not very easy to automate. That is legacy. Yeah. Right. Okay. Sounds understandable? Right. Okay. Fine. What are other tools or knowledge which you should have? The first thing which you should have is you should have a knowledge on agile, because 99% of the times we support the dev teams, or we are part of the teams which are agile in nature. Second, you need to know ITIL. If you know it, wonderful. Okay, or at least try to know ticketing tools. Ticketing tools like Remedy, ServiceNow. Okay, so the reason why I'm asking you to basically understand these things are, or at least, okay, because most of our work will be given to us from here in some of the organizations, right? And bug management systems like Jira. Okay, there is uh, if you are using Azure DevOps, we'll anyway speak about it, but let me speak about Azure DevOps also. Right. Okay, fine. And documentation tools like Wiki. If your company is using Google, then Google Sites. Okay, so you just need to work on them. You don't need to create something. You need to understand what is Agile. How do I use ticketing tools, and how do I use tools like Jira? Azure DevOps anyway will learn it from the course, right? So, and some companies also use this markdown based stuff. Whatever I use to write this, the classroom notes I follow using a markdown format. Okay, right. So these are at least at a bare minimum which you need to know to make yourself equipped with the DevOps culture. Am I clear on this? Right? Yeah. Yeah, you can also write Confluence also, right? So let me write Confluence. Confluence is from Atlassian stuff, right? Yeah, right. Okay, you can write SharePoint also. There are many tools. I'm not getting into tools. I'm just giving you the whole perspective, right? What is Agile? So, right. So in Quality Thought, once you enroll to our courses, generally every month we have Agile course and what is Jira from Ramna. So as part of this course, you would learn it, but Agile is a way of handling projects, right? Yeah. So ensure that you attend those classes. Under back management, yeah, if you have ALM, you have everything at one shot, right? If you have application lifecycle management tool, you really don't need a bug management because that is part of your ALM. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now let me try to tell you something which is unfortunately scary. Okay. But let me try to tell you one thing which is what do you call which gives you a heads up of the situation, right? So DevOps jobs in tough times. Okay. So I'm quite sure that we are aware of what is happening globally, right? So there will be some serious implications of that on our jobs, right? And if you are thinking that my brother has studied for 1 hour a day and if you got a job, he got a job in DevOps and I will also be doing the same. Unfortunately, that is not what it is going to be. Things are going to be tough, okay? Because for the next at least not less than 1 year, it is going to be a tough time. So companies will hire people who are multi-skilled, and by multi-skilled, I'm quite sure that you need to know many things, right? So I will learn only a little bit and I want to get a job. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen, right? Right. So let us not worry about tools, man. There are many tools. You can just go into the Google and say documentation tools. You'll get loads and loads of tools, right? Fine. So let us understand the seriousness of the situation right now. So companies will hire the people who are multi-skilled. When I say multi-skilled, something like DevOps with decent scripting knowledge, so that for automation your team doesn't need to pull in a developer. Okay. And then remember, then normally if you do 100%, now in this tough times you're expected to do at least 125%. At least 125%. Yeah. Yes, sir. Unfortunately, it is all due to COVID. Otherwise, I would not have written this third section. Okay. Right. When I say I'll not write DevOps with, let me write, you should know decent scripting knowledge. So generally one of three was required earlier. Okay. So shell scripting, PowerShell scripting, and Python. Okay. Understand one thing, shell and Python will become mandatory now. Okay. Right. So as a DevOps engineer, you are supposed to have a decent knowledge on cloud. So whether it is AWS, whether it is Azure, whether it is Google, at least one of them. Okay. And this was the story before the COVID also, but now it will Kubernetes. Okay. Will be something to look out for. Okay. We'll anyway learn Kubernetes. But along with that, you have to be very good at Helm. You have to be very good at, right? The not Helm and OpenShift will help. Okay. So our days are going to be tough. My plan is to revise the syllabus. Right. We already are ahead of time. So I want to get little bit more ahead. So for the next 90 days, right, the reality is we would be learning. We have to spend little bit hard on times, because see guys, companies will never what you call uh, give a pink slip to a person or remove him from a job for the person who is effective. And what we are all trying to do over here is becoming effective. Okay. For the DevOps engineer, becoming effective means you are good at automation, you have a cloud knowledge, you can work on what you call some advanced technologies, and that is what I'm going to bring in into my curriculum. Right. So there will be changes in our curriculum. So there will be something that would be added. Right. So uh, so wait for the stuff. So I think there will be some changes while you are learning this course. Right. We have to revamp ourselves, and we have to ensure that we are up to the time, and we are up to the market, and we do good. Okay. So understand one thing very clearly: for the next 2 years, no matter what technology which you are trying a job on, you have to be extremely good at that, and that is what we will try to become. Clear on this? Right. So some of you might not even join the course, and you might be new and everything, but just because you are new, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Right. Times will be tough. Okay. There is a lot of revenue losses that are happening to hell lot of organizations. Right. And the advantage of revenue losses is companies, whenever they lose revenue, they would try to automate. And if you are a right person for that, they don't mind paying you more. Right. Rather than paying less for a person who is not skilled, they would try to pay more for a person. So pay more for a person who can basically automate, and you will have less people to work around with. And that is a reality. And that is a reality, right? Yes, sir. I will ensure that all of the students who are part of my curriculum from day one of my course are equipped with whatever the new things which I'm going to add. Okay. Any thoughts on topics? In Azure, it has not changed anything very widely, right? But if there is anything which I would come across, I'll definitely ensure that I'll keep you informed. Okay. So will the revised course fees as well? No, sir. No, I am not that much what you call commercial so far. Till now, I have not become. Hope so I'll not become in the future also. So if there is any content that is going to help my students, I'll basically give it away. See, in cloud you will not see much of changes, but in cloud already, fortunately, we have added developer content. Few I think from the last couple of batches we have added the developer curriculum, right? So we are going deeper onto the topics. But if there is anything that is added, see, I'm working on it. So it is job in progress. So I will not try to basically tell that there will not be anything. I will not also say that there will be much, but let me see what I can bring in over here. Yeah. Right. So, and do we see a future on Kubernetes? Future is Kubernetes is what many are predicting. Right. So we have to dig much deeper into Kubernetes. Actually, I dig much deeper. We have to go one level beyond that. So we have to learn about patterns, anti-patterns, and all other stuff. But yeah, man, there see, I don't mind speaking about the topics until unless people practice them, right? So yes, right. Is Docker knowledge required? Without Docker knowledge, don't even think of a DevOps job. What is the difference between ticketing tool and a bug tool? Bug tool is basically used for raising defects of your application, whereas ticketing tool is a work assigned to some person. For example, your IT teams are generally uses ticketing tools. So for example, your system is under virus attack, you raise a defect and the IT people will come and fix it to you. Some organization still use ticketing tools for DevOps engineers because most of the people in DevOps in the initial days have came from admin backgrounds. So that's basically what it is. Both raise concerns, but one is basically one is about defects in your application. The second one is more about something that is going wrong with respect to IT. ServiceNow, yeah, ServiceNow is the most popular ticketing tool at this moment. Yeah. Okay. So guys, I think I've given you the heads up. I've said some tough words, but that is all reality. There is no sugarcoating around it, and don't even think that. I would learn less and I will still survive the job. If that is your motive, drop DevOps and try to do agriculture, because agriculture also might be a great thing going forward, because every country had learned the lesson very hard. There is no point in importing and exporting their supply chains. We have to build them on our own. So for example, if you want hand sanitizers, whole world is looking towards South Korea, right? So even those opportunities will increase. If you don't think that I can do all of this, try some other career paths. But in IT, yeah, especially in the courses which I want to stick, I think it will be a one level deeper journey. We are one step ahead already. If you can go and compare our curriculum with anything, we are already one step ahead. I want to take one more. Okay. Yes, sir. Now, at least if you are anything greater than 1 year, I would recommend it in this tough times. Okay. Right. I think I've answered all the questions, right? Okay, guys. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe our channel and click on bell icon.